The Steam Deck is one of the coolest gadgets released in a long time. At the base level, it's a handheld that you turn on and you boot Steam games with, but there might be a good amount of stuff that you can do that you don't know about. First though, like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you don't mind, drop an emoji or say hi in the comments. It really helps with the engagement of the video. When you turn on the Steam Deck for the first time, and every single time after that, you get a neat little booting animation. Depending on the model that you got, you might get a special custom one, and if you go to the Steam store, you're able to purchase with your Steam points a handful of other cool boot animations. But there is a special app that you can go and download that will give you access to a massive library of booting animations that are all completely free. And even just with this tip, it adds so much more customizability to your Steam Deck. This app also does a lot more than just help with your booting animation, and we'll get into that later. A couple of the tips that I do have are using this app, so make sure and download it. It does so much for the Steam Deck, and it's called Decky. To download it, you hop over to the desktop mode and search Decky for Steam Deck. You'll get the link to the GitHub page, and you can download Decky Loader. Once it's downloaded, just open your downloads folder and run the app. Press OK and install the release software. After that, you're done. Switch back to game mode, and you will find that there's an extra tab in the 3-dot menu. In this Decky tab, you can open the store and start by pressing install on Animation Changer. Go back to the Deck tab and hit Animation Changer, then manage animations. You can now browse hundreds of custom boot animations and suspend animations to make your boot and suspend screen way better and more customized to you. And before the next tip, I do just want to let you know that I'm not actually talking about any hardware Steam Deck accessories in this video, but if you are curious about a couple, I put some in the description that I really like. They're affiliate links. If you find a case or a dock that you really like in those links, go ahead and grab it, and it helps out the channel a lot, so thank you if you do grab anything there. CSS Loader. CSS Loader is another Decky plugin that adds so much customization to the Steam Deck. It allows you to toggle on and off different UI changes and even add completely different themes to your Steam Deck. From adjusting corners and the shine of library icons to adding extra information to the download page. You can sift through countless options and adjustments to customize the deck any way you want from a UI design perspective. Being able to do color adjustments or add a minimal screen to your game page with a custom game poster, or even reworking your homepage to look exactly like a Nintendo Switch. CSS Loader is probably the deepest plugin that Decky has to offer, and I highly recommend playing around with it. And even if you love SteamOS like I do, you'll find a couple things make it just a little bit better after you toggle them in CSS Loader. For tip number 3, I want to highlight a handful of different Decky plugins that you can utilize. Just go through a little bit of a highlight reel of some of the coolest ones. Audio Loader. It's kind of the same thing as the Animation Changer, but instead it's for system sounds. I commonly am shifting between Final Fantasy VII audio or Animal Crossing UI. Another plugin I highly recommend is ProtonDB badges. In my review for the Steam Deck OLED, I mentioned that Ghost of Tsushima was a blast to play on the Steam Deck, and it ran fantastic. But for some reason, Valve has labeled it as unsupported. In that video, when it came to games that said unsupported, I recommended to Google or look at Reddit to figure out if they actually are playable. But now I don't have to do that because I have ProtonDB badges. This community came together and did what Valve wouldn't and created community game badges for everything. You can go onto the website and search a game or link your Steam library, so it'll show you exactly what everything is in your library that works or doesn't work, or you can just download the ProtonDB badges and it'll just put a label on the game in your Steam library in the Steam Deck. So if we go over to the Ghost of Tsushima game file, we can see that the game still says unsupported, but in the top left there's a platinum ProtonDB badge. You see the DB badges are split into a few more categories than Valve does with just the few. Platinum means that you press play on the game and it will work perfectly. You don't have to adjust anything. Gold means that it's fully playable, but you might need to change the resolution or something. Silver means that it is playable, but you gotta edit some of the settings, make sure you set things to low so the game will run okay. I honestly don't even know if bronze badges exist because I haven't seen them, but they do have a badge called Borked, which means that a game is truly unplayable on the Steam Deck. One other plugin I think is kind of cool, Vibrant Deck, allows you to shift your display settings like saturation, white balance, all that kind of specific detail. Decky is just really, really cool, and if you take anything away from this video, download Decky. Let's go over some secret button inputs that you might not know about. Does your game ever crash or freeze up? Not able to exit the game for some reason? If you hold down the Steam button and the B button at the same time, you can actually force quit games. You probably already know this one, but if you press the Steam button and the X button at the same time, you can pull up a keyboard at any time to type in anything in any game that you want. You can also hold the Steam button and press the left bumper to get a magnifying glass on the screen so you can see anything that's really small. Holding the Steam button and pressing up or down on the left joystick will actually adjust the system brightness without having to go into the contextual menu. The Steam button and the right bumper is a screenshot. If you just hold down the Steam button by itself for a few seconds, you'll actually get a list of different button combos you can do to input different system commands. All the other buttons are keyboard inputs, so if you ever need them in a pinch to help with a menu in a game that's acting fidgety, don't forget to consult the button combo list. The last thing you've got to do, if you haven't yet, is download EmuDeck. Even if you aren't foaming at the mouth to go play Mario Party, I still highly recommend that you download it anyway. Having the ability to play any old game on any old console on your Steam Deck in game mode is incredible, and you should have it installed. To do this, we boot over to the desktop mode and search EmuDeck. EmuDeck has its own website, so the download process is super simple. Scroll down until it shows you the different OS that you can install on, and click Steam OS. Download the EmuDeck file and drop it on your desktop, then execute the file. This will instantly open up EmuDeck and prompt you to set it up. Easy mode will just set up everything with all the expected default settings. Custom mode will let you adjust what you want. Things like deciding the aspect ratio and different resolutions for different old consoles. Either way, I recommend installing it on a micro SD so it's easily accessible. Wherever you set EmuDeck to install will have a ROM folder that has folders for every console. All you gotta do is dump your game ROMs in those folders. And if you don't know what a ROM is, just know that it's basically the game file for any games on an old console. Google the game that you want to download the ROM for, then drop the file into the console folder in the emulator. You can do this on the deck or on a computer where it's easier. This is why I recommend using an SD card, so you could, for instance, dump 100 games onto the card from a computer. Once you got everything installed, you can open the Steam ROM Manager from the EmuDeck software, and here is where you can add Emulation Station to game mode. Once you've added that, you can boot any emulated game ROMs from Emulation Station in Steam game mode. There's plenty of super deep, in-depth videos on emulation and emulation management that you can find on YouTube, but if you follow these simple steps, you'll be playing Zelda on your Steam Deck in no time. There is just so much you can do in SteamOS and on the Steam Deck. There's so many options for customizability and contextual menus. Downloading a few plugins like EmuDeck and Decky adds so much to the Steam Deck, and I highly recommend giving them a download and checking them out because there's so much stuff you can do on the deck that you probably don't know about. They turn the Steam Deck into a pretty incredible little gadget, and you can pretty much do anything with it. Comment your thoughts or any questions you have down below, and I will respond to them. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, because I do have a new video that will be out next week. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.